Were you a fan growing up?
Yeah, I was. I watched every Saturday morning, and one of my most memorable moments watching was I was a big Snuka fan, and he got pulled to the outside and got a pile driver. They pulled up the mats on the concrete and got taken away with a big neck brace. And it's like, why did they have to do that to him? So that I was hooked at a very young age.
It was courtesy of Ray the Crippler Stevens when that happened.
Is that who it was? I was trying to remember because someone else asked me a similar question, and for some reason I thought it was Piper, but I couldn't remember who it was. So I just remember I was a Snuka fan, so all I really cared about was Snuka, and I was like, oh. So yeah, I was a fan.
How do you feel about having an active in-ring role?
Oh, I love it. I hate it when you go to the ring and you just stand ringside and you don't do anything. I always want to get in there and do a spot or do something to be involved in the match. I think it's kind of a waste to have a manager or a tag team partner where you're, because I do both. I manage and I wrestle, where you're just out there doing anything. So it's kind of a waste. There's so many different possibilities when you have another person involved. So.
Okay. Do you think were you scared rather to take bumps?
No, not at all. First thing I learned how to do was a Frankensteiner off the top rope, so obviously I wasn't scared. But there are things that you do that are scary, but and the training is definitely hard and tedious, and it takes a long time. But and things are scary, but I wasn't scared to try. So, but some things you tried and it hurt, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. But I definitely wasn't scared to try. I was very eager to get in there and learn.
And how do you feel women are portrayed in the business?
I don't know. Did I say that I would? Yeah, I did. Okay. Maybe give me. Yeah.
All right. Sure.
There was one about the male promoters. Yes, I'll do that one. Right. Yeah, please. I meant to scratch that one off because it's just too. It's cool.
How do you feel about male promoters and wrestlers who say women's wrestling hurts the business and cheapens the product?
I just think that's just kind of a statement that is kind of unintelligent. Women's wrestling, women can have matches that on a card can just add to it. If you have an entire match of men's or tag match, a hardcore match or whatever, and then you got one good women's match, it adds to the show. It doesn't take away. And unless you got two girls that are out there that don't know what they're doing, it can do nothing but enhance it, I'm not saying have, 3 women's matches, but one good women's match, or then you always have the all-girl promotions like Shimmer, which I work for, which that's some of the greatest wrestling I've ever seen. So, and Chick Fight, their last few releases is just amazing, the wrestling. Girls come over from Europe and put in the European style. We got girls that have been down in Mexico. They know how to go. So I think that any promoter that says, oh, a women's match is not going to help has never seen a good women's match. However, I don't know. It's a double-edged sword because, and then people, I don't know. Some people think that it takes away, but I think it enhances. I think it gives you variety. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think women's matches are if you do it right, it can be. You don't do like I said, a cat fight match. That's gonna be But if you have like a good women's match, it's gonna really add to your card. So.
Okay. And is it true you were once roommates with Mickie James?
Yes. Mickey Butt, that's what I call her. She was in Louisville. She was my roommate, and I still keep in touch with her. Love her to death. When she won the belt, I was just like, congrats, champ. And she's just genuinely such a good person. And then not only just friend-wise, but then we lived together, so we were roommates, and we got along amazingly as roommates. So obviously, if you can live with someone and still remain really, really good friends, obviously they're a good person. And our personalities are very similar. So we just had a ball. We had a ball. She's a great person. Mm-hmm. Very happy for her.
That's great. Did you ever have a chance working with WWE?
Yeah, that's where I was. I was in OVW, and I was in Louisville. I had gotten signed. She called me about 2 months after I'd gotten signed and said, I just got signed. And I said, I just happen to have a 2-bedroom apartment. And she asked me, what apartment complexes should she look at, da-da-da. And I said, well, I have a 2-bedroom. Come live with me. So then she came. So it was great. Mm-hmm.
And what are your thoughts about the lack of kayfabe in pro wrestling today?
You know, it's like hot and cold. I personally, like, if I'm at a show and I have a match or I'm involved in a match where, you know, you have to talk to your opponents, I don't like the fans to see that. However, you know, people writing books, people doing shoot interviews, things like that, I mean, it's the norm nowadays. Fans want to see that. So there you're breaking kayfabe. But who hasn't done a shoot interview? So, you know, and then, like, you know, when I wrestle under a mask, I don't like people to see me without, you know, yeah. So it's just, you know, you got to pick your battles there. And there are times when I really like to respect that. And then there's other times where, you know, shoot interviews are interesting to watch. So it's like, you know, I'm kind of like on the fence about that one.
I have one last question for you. What is your favorite moment?
I have a couple. And that's why you're getting ready to go say hi to him. I took a pile driver from Terry Funk in England in a March 2000 tour. And I was just in awe. It was great. I took the figure 4 from Ric Flair. He schoolboyed me up to win the WCW Heavyweight Championship for the 15th time. And then he put the figure 4 on me on Live Nitro. Amazing. Then when I won the Cruiserweight belt. So only 2 women ever held the WCW belt, myself and Medusa. It was such an honor to be, you know, former WCW Cruiserweight champion. That's like probably those are the 3. I don't have just one, I have 3. And those are my 3 favorites.
That's great, and I really thank you for your time.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Turnbuckle. Thanks. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Can you dig it?